Good morning. So, this twin flame journey is like the fast track into the, the spiritual awakening. I don't even want to call it a spiritual awakening because it's not awakening. It's like an ascension. It's like um it's like pushes you through to the next step in a constantly. Feels like there's no break. There's no breather time almost. You just keep on going and keep on going and keep on going, and there's nothing you can do but continue from where the point that you are at. So, like right now, with everything that was yesterday, there's like this. I couldn't sleep very well last night. I kept on waking up, and I got up really early, like at 4:30, and then I tried to go back, and I just kept on tossing and turning. Now it's about 6:30 in the morning. I already did my meditation, already got my coffee, and out with the dogs. I still feel like there's just this, it's like a sense of loss. And, it's loss of what could have been, maybe, which is silly because it's small, it's what could have been what yesterday and today. I could have spent time with him. In the bigger picture, when I really look at the bigger picture, I think that I'm really blessed to be able to do these zoom outs and really look at the bigger picture. Okay, so the bigger picture is I lose some time with him, but I mean, the smaller picture is I lose time with him, but in the bigger picture, I got a big jolt and like kick into gear. This morning I got up and I'm feeling like blessed. Yeah, trying to connect to everything that I feel blessed for. I do have contact with my twin. I couldn't imagine having a twin out there, knowing that I have a twin out there and not having any contact with him. It just feels like that would be, and I know that there's a lot of uh, feminine energy, a lot of divine feminines out there that don't have contact with their twin. And I just couldn't imagine knowing and having a soul recognition and not having contact. And I'm also grateful that I have the mirrors that I can do my self work with, even if the self work is like super painful. I mean, what's the alternative? All I can do is get up in the morning and connect back to all the things that I have grateful for. I could do that. I could either do that or I could just, feel like crap all day. I choose to take the lessons and to rise above it and to just take it from here. There's nothing I can do. What else can I do? What else can I do than just start where I am? Okay, so what was yesterday happened yesterday. It happened. Yeah, it's just like my whole life. Whatever happened throughout my whole life happened. There's no power in it. The only power that I have is from this moment on. I just can't help but feeling like this sense of like loss. You know, what am I going to do? Like fake it? I can fake it. I do that often, fake it till you make it. But I really feel like See, there's two sides of me. I really feel like I need to go through it and just allow myself to really feel the pain of it so that I don't have to go down these roads anymore, and so that I can really see the prices that I'm paying for the choices that I make, which is my whole life. My whole life is just a series of choices that I made, and 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 getting the outcome of the choices that I made, to here or to here, you know. Sometimes I make really good choices and I fly high. And sometimes my choices are kind of, I just feel like foolish. I think that's also one of the emotions that really I don't want to feel, is foolish. I just feel foolish and like I missed out. And I know that it's not true. I know that I didn't miss out on anything, because the choices that I made would be the choices that I would make again and again and again until I overcome the weakness, right? When you overcome the weakness, the choice is easy. When you're still in the weakness, that's when you have the back and forth. And I guess I needed to get this big of a, like, you know, I know that from the outside it could look like, oh, it's, you know, something really small. You know, in the large scheme of things, it's something really small. But in the emotional realm, I'm disappointed in myself. I feel like this whole week that I was tested and I didn't stand up to the tests. And the only one that's paying the price, really, well, I'm not the only one. Also, my twin is paying the price of it because we're connected. And my children are paying the price because I'm responsible for them. But I'm really the one paying the price. It's really only me that gets to make the decision. Anybody else, you know, it's their life and they have their choices and they can, you know, take it or leave it. But I'm the one creating my life. And if I'm not happy in my life, then I mean, whose life am I living? And I'm mostly happy in my life. I think that this is part of it. This going down the tube so you can know so that you can come out the other side stronger, with a knowing. I think, you know, you have to have black and white. You have to have contrast. You have to have points from which you push off. If it's all just la la land and you were always just, you know, on the right track, what kind of life would that be? Then that wouldn't be a life of purpose, you know, to really enjoy. I feel like even with the alcoholism and everything else, or my freedom that I gained after so many years of being under somebody's thumb. You when you don't have it, and then you get it for yourself, you own it and you make decisions and you do it for yourself, the taste of it is so much sweeter than if it had just been there all the time. Then you didn't even know that any different than that. So I kind of feel like also with the, like, wounded healer syndrome, you know, people that have had great wounds in their life become the greatest healers because they can really know and connect and have empathy and understanding for people that are going through the hardships. And also, when you go through the things, you realize that everybody is how they are for a reason. All the choices that I made in life were for a reason, even if the reason was crappy, like yesterday. There was no reason for that. It was weakness. It was just like, oh yeah, and the spur of the moment. There wasn't thought to it. There wasn't intention behind it. You know, had I thought about it for a minute, had I stopped and really thought about it, But that just teaches me for next time. Everything gets me one step closer, one step closer, one step further on my path, one step closer to purifying myself, or living a life of full intention, or living a life in my full power, or living a life without outs, without addictions, without running away, without what a ramble, what a ramble. I want to do some alchemy on my thoughts and just like do a whole shifting and take this day, by storm. Take this day. I have things to do today. I need to get my son out to camp. I have a dentist appointment and I want to get a box out to Amazon. And I still can't help but feel like I just really flubbed everything up. And that I really missed out also on this day. Like, I could have I feel like, right? And I don't know for sure, but it feels like that I could have had a really fun outing day with my twin had I not had I made different decisions yesterday, had I not smoked yesterday. That all of my decisions have impact on the world, and I feel like I'm missing out. Like this life is passing me by. And I know it's just like one day or one weekend, but it feels like eternity. When you're in the moment, it just feels like eternity. And I can see how one day after one day after one day, and I'm already 46. And sometimes I feel like I just want to kick myself in the butt and say, like, just come into your power already. It's not like I don't know what to do. I know what to do, I think. Or at least I know, like yesterday, I could have made better decisions. I could have made a better decision. And I should always know that I always feel like I always feel it before I'm tested. I can feel like, okay, there's a test coming. And what is it? A test from the divine, a test from my twin, a test from what? And I feel like the tests aren't there to like they're not there to make me fail them. They're there for me to rise into. And then when I don't rise into, come over the hump, then I get consequences in my life that I don't want, because we're creating our reality. And so everything that comes into my life is something that I created. It's a consequence of my choices or my path or the way that my belief system and the way that I do things. Everything is a consequence of something. Consequence to the good. It doesn't have to be into the bad. Everything is an effect, cause and effect. And so I have effects in my life that I don't want. So what's the cause? I'm so disappointed in myself again. And I'm also disappointed in myself for being disappointed in myself. Like, But at the same time, it's paradoxical because I know that I have to feel that disappointment in order to get the lesson and rise above. And then it's just taking responsibility, saying, okay, getting determination. Like, okay, if I'm disappointed in myself, it's for reasons. To stand up in those places and take responsibility. And as soon as I am absolute 100% strong on the decisions of the new way of being, then I don't have to feel the sorrow and the consequences anymore. I just know that, okay, I got the lesson and I don't have to go down this path anymore. Okay, I've become stronger for it. I still feel like crap. I do this video and I think, okay, what's the point in this? I'm just belly aching. I'm just bringing, I'm talking it through. I know it helps me. But then I'm also thinking, I have this other side of me that says, well, if you're talking it through, aren't you just like, it's kind of like an out. It's kind of like allowing myself to get out of the emotions so I can talk about it and dissipate it and like have it lose its power, and then I don't have to sit in it anymore. But then I have these other thoughts that everything that happens for a reason, and that if I'm making these videos, there's a reason for me making them, and even if it's beyond me, and so what if I'm dissipating it? I feel like maybe I'm dissipating it before I get all the way to the bottom of it is the thing. I think that was more what I'm thinking. Like I didn't all the way allow myself to go up, but I did. I did yesterday. I did. I went all the way into the sludge at the bottom at the of the decision, and I'm going through it, and being able to talk about it really helps me understand it and put it in words, and making it a video of it gives me also like a reference point I can go back to, and sharing the videos really makes me kind of have to take responsibility because I'm putting this out there. It's like owning it. It's like for me owning it and sharing it. I'm not the only one going through these things. I'm sure through things of falling into old habits or old patterns of thinking. There's lots. It doesn't have to be just marijuana. It could be anything. It could be any kind of addictive behavior. It could be lashing out. It could be anything that anybody is trying to give up to better themselves. Anything anybody has a knowing that they shouldn't be doing, but they're still doing it. It's like overeating. It's like anything. And you pay the prices. So for overeating, and I was an overeater, so I can talk about this. So it's like when you go on a diet and you do really well, really well, really well, and then you splurge, all of a sudden you eat something that's like 1,200 calories, and then you just feel like crap. Like, why did I do that? I broke my own word. And breaking your own word feels much crappier than anything else. And I realized that in this smoking thing, it's just like quitting to eat. You might go and like when you go on a diet, you might go and splurge eat and then blame somebody else. Blame your spouse because they made you mad, or blame this person, or blame that person. But you're the one paying the consequence. It's in your own life. So you can blame all you want, but that doesn't make it not your responsibility. And blaming is like, this is an out. It's being a victim. I have no responsibility over this. Somebody else plays my emotions for me. And it's the same thing with smoking, like this week. Like I said in last night's video, am I doing it for myself or am I doing it for him? Or if he gets out of the picture for a minute, do I fall? Like, why put that on him? My quitting smoking should not be on anybody else. Even if I feel like crap, it's me. Am I quitting smoking for me and for my life, or am I quitting smoking so that I can have him in my life? That's kind of like that energy of trying to hold on to somebody and hold somebody in place, or doing something for them. That's heavy to put on somebody. Like, my not smoking is your responsibility of being with me and making me happy. you know what's that crapola? This phrase keeps coming up in my mind, the twin flame crapola. Sometimes it just feels like so crappy. At least it feels now like way better than a year ago. It was just almost unbearable. I mean, there were times that I thought, man, I just want to put an end to this. And I do take comfort in that I have contact with my twin. If I need to, I can call him. I can hear his voice. I have contact with him, and that I am blessed. I am blessed with the best partner ever. Even with the mirrors that I get and the loss that I feel, I'm still, you know, I I know that it's for my own good. Like this whole thing with missing out last night on being with him, or even today, that there was possibly we were going to go somewhere today, but I don't know, like after everything that happened yesterday, he said he would be in touch with me if he decided to go. But then it feels like after what happened yesterday, it's just like it feels like that went down the tube, down the toilet with the plans yesterday. It felt like that the plans today would have been like a continuation of yesterday. And I feel like I missed yesterday. I missed cues so many times. How you can look back and you can see all the cues that you missed. There were so many places there that I see that I was off. Little nuances that it doesn't even make sense to say them, because you'd have to be there really. But I really feel like yesterday, I can't say that I flubbed up, because I am where I am. The flubs are according to where you are in in where you are in your spiritual rising. I mean, I guess that I still have that I still had those weaknesses in me. Otherwise, they wouldn't have come out to play. If I hadn't had some kind of draw into smoking marijuana, I wouldn't have smoked marijuana. So there was something in me that still needed to get that lesson, to burn out the weakness. I feel like crying is burning out weakness. Look at my doggies. I crawled down here. I'm on this ledge. I crawled down here to sit in the shade. I'm sitting over. And this is my first cup of coffee this morning. When I'm out in nature, I feel at peace. Like now, I know that I need to go back and get started on my day and get a start on this day. And I really want to be excited about this day. And I just feel like I just want to be out here. I keep telling myself, you know, every place that you're at is just the starting place for the rest of your life. You can't start from a different place than where you're at. All you can do is just take the power in the moment and continue on from where you are. And I have to create movement in my life. I can't just sit in place. Sitting in place, nothing happens. So I have to create some kind of movement. And then I have these questions in myself like, today's a new day. I have questions like, should I call him and see if he's going somewhere, and see if he's going and ask him, like, if you're going, then I'd like to come? Or like, am I self-loathing and self-punishing myself? And then I have this other side that says, well, I need to dissipate this energy that I have right now. I need to fully go through this before I start trying to put anything new on my plate. But then at the same time, I miss him. And I know how energy shifts. I can be in this energy in one moment, and an hour from now, I can be in a completely different place. It every moment has its own power in it. Just because I'm like this right now doesn't mean I can do the alchemy and just change my whole outlook and just be. And I know as long as I'm putting my happiness on being with him, then he's running. When I pull it back to myself and I'm happy within myself, this whole thing is just, I want to say stupid, but I'm going to say trying to, I know that it's not, I know that it's not stupid. And I know that it's for my own good, and that I'm one of the blessed, like, privileged, graced to even be on this journey and to have a, a mirror like that to work with, and even to, like, this makes for an amazing, wonderful, out of the ordinary life, to meet your twin flame. And in your lifetime, I didn't even know that there was such a thing as a twin flame before I met him. It was all of a sudden, it's like, what is this? What is this? Hit me like a ton of bricks. What is this? And I think it was because I was far enough along my spiritual path, far enough cleansing myself into righteousness. That is the goal. It's going into righteousness. Being, going ascending is actually going into righteousness. It's clearing yourself of all the falsities and coming back to your pure self. So it's purifying yourself, which is righteousness, going by right. And I know that in order to, I know this now, yeah, after all of the evolving, I know that in order for me to have met my twin flame in this lifetime, I had to have cleared myself enough on my own to be able to magnetize him in. That means to get close enough to my purest vibration to be able to be in a close enough vibration as him. And he also had to, for us to actually come together and meet. It's kind of like, it's also the same thing with all the other women that I seem to be meeting. A lot of women that are on the twin flame journey, that we must be vibrating the same vibe. And a lot of women that are like super spiritual and genius, and by the comments that I'm getting for a lot of these videos that are like spot on, giving me all sorts of insight to, you know the same thing, but looking at it from a different direction, or new ways of looking at it. Thoughts that I haven't had, really complex thoughts, and I'm starting to restore my, my faith in women and my faith in humanity. If a lot of times I felt like I'm very much alone in my capacity to think of things, or to think of how things, you know, of the spiritual, or if I felt, all of a sudden I feel like there are a lot of us having very complex spiritual connections and rising and understandings, and we're all bringing our own gifts into the world in our own spectacular, way that we are able to. So I'm going to go ahead and end this here. So thank you for watching, and thank you.